Leslie here again, and it's been a couple of weeks since I did my last video. It's been absolutely crazy with the weather we've been having. You can see my sheet is blowing well in the wind. We've had a few storms and the heat as well. I've really topped up my tan. Not great, t-shirt tan going on. So outside at the moment I've got some lovely lavenders that are in flower. I've got one that's got a small pink cluster flower on the top of it, so I wanted to try and propagate some more of those because I think that would be really nice to have an unusual pink flowering lavender and have quite a few of them. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. In here I've mixed up 2/3 compost with 1/3 of sand or grit, as the lavenders, like rosemary's, like free draining soil, so it's made it really nice and crumbly. They'll also need quite a bit of heat, so I'm going to pop the compost mix into my cell tray, which fits inside my little mini propagator. So if I just fill this up, I'm going to show you how to do heel cuttings today, which, why it's called cuttings I'm not really too sure, because when you do heel cuttings then you actually sort of pull it off the plant rather than cutting it off. And that's because the bark piece has the embryonic cells in it which will change into the roots once you've got them into the compost. Fill all this up, and you'll want to be taking non-flowering shoots from this year's growth, but I'll show you that in a little while when we go outside. There we go. There we have it. Nice ready filled cell pack. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 15 spaces for cuttings. Could double up and do 30, but my plants aren't big enough to be able to get 30 off them. So we'll head outside and I'll show you what I mean. This is my cluster of 3 lavender plants in here. These ones are the lovely pink flowers. And we've got one with the regular purple flowers on, so these 2 at the front here have got the pink flowers. So I'm going to choose some non-flowering shoots, so something like these. They're a bit small, those ones. I'm going to go for something a little bit bigger. And you want to, for the heel cutting, you're going to need to rip it away from the plant so that you end up with a piece of the bark. Sorry about my camera skills, it's kind of hard doing this. Like that. So you've got that little heel. So I'll take a few of these. And again, just pull it away from the edge. And you get that sort of little tail end. I hope you can hear me, it's a bit blowy out here. This one's a nice one here. Peel it away. That's a better one. There we go, like that. So I'm going to cut you off while I get the rest of the cuttings, and then I'll meet you back in the greenhouse. So I've got my 15 cuttings just here. I've got the little heel on the end there, and these ones are actually quite a good length because there isn't a long strip of bark coming off the end. They've peeled away quite nicely, and you can hopefully, if this will zoom in enough, not quite. So in the middle here there's the green fleshy part of the stem, which will be where you've got all your nice embryonic shoots for your roots to come out of. That's a decent size. You want them about 2 to 3 inches. Some of mine might be just a little bit small, but hopefully they'll still take. If you've got one that's got too much bark on the end, just trim it off until you get back to just a little nib of a heel. I'm going to take the bottom few sets of leaves off because they're going to go into the potting compost that we've got, and you don't want them rotting off. So you end up with something like that. Looks a bit like a old writing quill or something that you'd have on the end of a shuttlecock. And then just pop it into the compost up to just below the first set of leaves that you've left on. And it's as easy as that. Lavender is actually quite an easy plant to propagate from. I've not tried it myself yet, so this is going to be a nice test of skill to see whether I've done it right as well. But I've seen other people do it and they've always been successful with this method. Now you can try and put some rooting hormone on if you want to. I never really bother with rooting hormone because the plant has its own growth hormones anyway. I think if it's natural, it gives itself 2 chances. Either it does or it doesn't go. So hopefully with having 15 chances, I'll get at least some of them rooting. It'll take a couple of weeks, but within 2 weeks I'll start to have some roots coming off the bottom, and I'll probably leave it in there for a good month or so and wait until I see some little tiny roots poking out at the bottom of my cell pack and then pop them on. So I know by then they'll have a decent root structure and there'll be enough to support them when you transplant. So you can hear the blackbirds being noisy outside because they can hear me in the greenhouse, and as soon as they hear me or my mum outside now, they're chittering away because they want some raisins or some bird food put out. Quite funny. They I think we've got 2 or 3 pairs about, and they sort of, if they've got food in their mouths, they'll forget about the babies, and if the other brood comes along or parents comes along, they'll be seeing each other off, and the babies will be sitting on the floor going, well, where's my food? You know, where's my food gone? It's quite nice to see. He's chittering away a lot out there at the moment. Right, so I've got 2 more to do. Oh, that always makes me sleepy. That's the other thing, if you end up doing a lot of these, I'd suggest wearing gloves, because the oils from the lavender can get into your skin and make you very sleepy, and if you get too much into your skin you can end up with a headache. I've done it before when I've been cutting rows and rows of lavender hedging. But if you want to stay awake, that's what rosemary's really good for. So crushing a bit of rosemary or having a little rosemary bag in your car is really good to keep you alert and awake. So there we have it, some nice lavender cuttings. I'm going to water them once I've got them indoors so that I'm not traipsing wet globby bits everywhere. You can always dry the leaves out that you've taken off the bottom of the cuttings and use them to make it smell nice in your house, or you know, in a little pot beside your bed to help you go to sleep. So yeah, I'll give this a little bit moisture, put it in a nice sunny spot, and we'll see what happens in a couple of weeks. So I hope you've enjoyed today. I'm going to go and wash my hands and keep smiling.